Good morning, Panthers. Our mini lesson today is going to be on thick and thin questions. So it's kind of an introduction to questioning. Good readers actually ask a lot of questions as they are reading. When I read to myself, I always ask I wonder questions, and it helps keep me engaged with the book. So I'm going to click present right now. That way you can see my screen a lot better. All right. So I said thoughtful readers ask questions, but what type of questions do we want you to ask? Well, let's practice here. So I insert an image. Now you can also ask questions for visuals when authors provide you with images. So this is a visual on the New York Times. It's kind of in a series of a picture a day for kids to take a look at and analyze. And so here I see some people in lab coats with labels on their lab coats. Their hair is covered with a net, and they're all holding something, okay? They're all holding something, and they're all looking one way, except for the people in the back over here. So my questions when I saw that photo is, they are, what are they holding? What are they wearing? I wonder what they're looking at. How come they're filming or taking pictures? And I've organized my questions into two columns, one column right here and another one right here. And I've kind of inserted a clue as to how I sorted my questions. My clues are right here. Take some think time right now and think about why I sorted my questions over here and over here. What's the difference between my two sets of questions? So maybe you came up with this answer where, it has something to do with the size of the sandwich, okay? And if you did, that's great because I did use that as a clue. So I have thin questions, right there questions. These are questions that are easier to answer. You can find the answers right in the text or visual. It could even be yes or no questions, and they typically only have one answer. So going back to my question over here, I said, what are they holding and what are they wearing? Well, we can look at the visual and see clearly that they're holding cameras and they're wearing lab coats. All right, so these questions usually start with who, what, where, when, how many, okay? And then my next set of questions are thick questions. They're think and search questions. These are harder to answer. You need to think and use your background knowledge or schema. Schema is another word for what you already know. And you need to use evidence from the text or visual to help you answer these questions. And these questions have many answers. There's no one right or wrong answer. So let's go back to what I've asked, okay? I said, I wonder what they're looking at. How come they're filming or taking pictures? Can we see what they are looking at? What about why they're filming? Can we look into why they're filming? No, we need to maybe look at the larger picture, or we might, if this was a text, we might need to read on to figure out what the author is trying to tell us, okay? And these thick questions usually start with why, how come, how did, what if, I wonder. And these are just some of the examples. There's many more. And so I want you to take a moment to look at this picture right here. See if you can come up with one thin question and one thick question for this image. And I'm going to tell you or show you an example of how you can use these thick and thin questions for reading a story. So this is from Green Eggs and Ham. And now I know a lot of you read Green Eggs and Ham already, which is why I'm using this as an example. This is a page from the text. It says, I do not like them, Sam I am. I do not like green eggs and ham. So if I were reading this aloud for the first time, I would ask maybe the question, who is Sam I am, right? And then I would also ask, well, why doesn't this person not like green eggs and ham? What happened? Why doesn't he like green eggs and ham? And then maybe that would keep the audience engaged and following along with the text so that we can find that out later on. The question, who is Sam I Am, is pretty obvious. And then, so that's a thin question. And the other question, well, why doesn't he like green eggs and ham? That's a thick question. We don't know yet, and we want to read on to find out. Okay, so I invite you to our Google meeting later where we'll be talking more about these thin and thick questions and maybe even having you practice with a text or a book that you have at home. See you guys.